Hey, V, line them up.
My mic was muted the whole entire time. I just seen that my mic was muted. Um, what's up? So I showed the video from Chris from Enterbox, man. Go check out Chris on Etsy and Instagram. Um, he's got some really cool stuff on there, from purchase to perch holders, um, probe holders, all types of things. So go check him out. CJ, I see you. Uh, Fucking asshole, CJ. Who we got here early? We got JS, JS Exotics, James Perry. We got Chris. We got Didi. We got Mikey Marsh. We got TPC, Woodstock. We got Alan. What's going on, Alan? CJ. Yeah, man. So it's been a week since we were last here, man. I think we got a good show. If you came here to learn anything about Cyclops, tonight is the night to learn those things. Also, man, I know y'all go see, but I got my Carpet Fest shirt on. Man, shout out to everybody from Texas Carpet Fest. Shout out to the good hosts from Reptilandia. Shout out to Kyle James, Tony Hurt, my cousin, my little redhead cousin Alum, uh, Chad from Ral, Lewis from Little Shop of Horrors. They are a feeder, you know, distributor. Lewis Bagnara. I'm sorry, Lewis, man. Lucas. I'm sorry, Lucas, man. I'm gonna butcher your name. Bagnara. I'm sorry, man. But eventually, like, I'll figure out how to pronounce your name. But check him out. He also he hosts the Retake Lounge and the Chondro Lounge. So go check out Lucas. We got a good show ahead of us tonight. I don't have an MVF deep dive because I didn't get to it. Um, I don't really got anything to tell y'all about last week as far as snake stuff goes. Um, Nothing really exciting. I got chased by a bull. Got chased by a fucking bull. And it wasn't for any type of bull event. I just got chased by a bull while I was hunting. Keno should be here close to on time today. That's what he says. So CJ, put your free Keno hashtag free Keno up, and hope he brings his ass here on time. What's up, Noe? Um, Also, congratulations to Keno. Keno's son won. His team won a state championship. So, congratulations to Keno and his son Khalil the engine. You can follow him on Instagram. He looks just like his dad, only more trustworthy. He was like a trustworthy version of his dad. But we're gonna get into the show early. I'm gonna bring what up? What up, Santos? We're gonna bring in Joe Westgate early, and when Keno bring his ass on, that's when he brings his ass on. What up, Joe?
How you doing, guys?
Keno's still not here, so it's just me.
I
It's
know.
just me.
I mean, I wouldn't want him to be early, that's for sure.
You should want him to be
So,
here early.
that's pretty cool, though. We won the state championship, huh?
Yeah, man. Keno is a pretty good offensive line coach, man.
That's pretty good. Is that his first year coaching or
This is his first official year
official?
of coaching. Yeah, I think this is his first official year of coaching. He's a good coach, man. You know,
That's
he's
damn good.
he's
Cool.
good. He's good at talking to the kids and getting them to do things, man.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I can never be a coach, man. I
I
know I
yeah,
can.
I have a brother-in-law that does it, and I've seen a lot of them out there, and it's definitely a different breed, that's for sure. It's
Yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah, and like sports seems so different now than when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, like the dads they used to drink at practice and smoke cigarettes. Like there was no moms.
Yeah,
Like you could straight up get beat up. You can straight up get beat up by somebody's dad or your own dad. Like
now
I
you
don't
got
think you
to
can do
get up
that
by the
anymore.
moms.
Yeah. The moms might be there. They might be drinking like Jack Daniels wine coolers or something, but it's rare that they show up. And it's never just one. It's always several of the moms. But for the most part, moms ain't out there. It's just you and I don't know who Cyrus is who's telling me they like my glasses, but cool. Shout out to Cyrus for loving my glasses. Um, but yeah, man, I remember like yeah, I just that's mostly what I remember just getting yelled at, just being told crazy shit all the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Like I
pretty much
said,
it.
I work at the school department, so I see the parents at night, and it's a little bit much sometimes. You know,
Man,
you wonder where the kids get it. You can tell right where the parents are.
oh man, I see your parents nowadays, man. Like when I see like the parents and uh I know who Cyrus is. You still not gonna beat up that raccoon. When you see parents now, man, like they don't see their kids as ever being a problem. Their kids are just a
No,
victim. It just little juvenile crimes.
hmm
Uh, when I was a kid, man, it's just like everybody thought you was guilty. Nobody nobody took your word at anything.
well, there's no consequences for kids anymore. I swear.
It's
You
just
know,
weird. I
it's
remember when I was a kid, I might like my first grade teacher could whoop me. So like I get a whooping in school, and then I'm gonna get a whooping by my mom, and then I'm gonna get a whooping from my dad by the time he gets out of work. And on the weekend, I'm gonna get my ass whooped again.
yeah.
But like, it's just not that way no more.
No. I had my grandfather, and I wouldn't even cross him, even though I was in a different because I just knew, I wasn't crossing him.
Yeah, no, I would never cross either one of my
Nope.
parents. It's just like I know who I see at the end of that fucking issue. Like, nah. But like now, kids, I see kids saying crazy stuff to their parents. You see my kids downstairs acting crazy. Uh, but yeah, man, I don't know if I could work at a school, man. God bless
Yeah.
you.
Thank God I'm at an elementary school, so it's not too bad. I think middle school, high school, it's a totally different story there.
I think middle school kids are the worst because that's where you first learn how to be bad.
Yeah.
I think the high school kids they kind of figure out they need to do their stuff and keep it low. But
Yeah.
like,
Elementary kids, they're not too bad. They do stuff, to just have fun. It's not, disgruntle or anything. Once you get in the middle school and high school, then it's like they're literally ripping toilets off the wall and throwing them out the window. It's
yeah, like middle school kids do
yeah,
some shit like that.
they're pretty crazy.
Yeah, start fires in school. Yeah, yeah, that's kids, man. But yeah, Joe. Um, could you give us your background and where you're from? I feel like you're from the East Coast, Joe.
Yeah. I'm Plymouth, Massachusetts. You know, I got that Boston accent. I can't get rid of. That's for sure.
I don't think you're supposed to get rid of it.
No, I know. When you go out of town, it's like, wow, it's really bad. It's, but no, I'm down kind of the Cape Cod, Massachusetts area. I work at a school system and maintenance. I used to do construction for about 28 years and finally got out of that. Like I said, my daughter's 26 now. She's getting married this winter, and I'm an empty nester finally. So, so looking forward to that.
Do you ever like feel like the house is too quiet?
It was weird. She went to college for 4 years, and it was nice and peaceful. And then she came back, and she actually came back with her boyfriend, which was it was a little bit of a shock at first, but it worked out really good. I got to know him, and 4 or 5 years later, they're getting married together. So it's all for the good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And like I told him, I said, shit, if you can live with me for a couple of years, you're fine with the family.
I would never live with my father-in-law, and I love him.
Well, that's what I said when she came back. She's like, Dad, I want to ask you something. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'd like him to move in, and he's got a job and all that. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, well, let's give this a try. But it was all for the good.
Yeah, me and my father-in-law, we're good. I love my father-in-law. We went hunting this weekend together, so we can definitely spend time together, but we can't spend every day together. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. Well,
It wouldn't work.
you going for deer or
No, we're going for hogs.
hogs? Yeah.
Deer is still bow season. We can't.
Yeah.
We're not. Deer is open. I did see one of the biggest juvenile bucks I ever seen in my life. He still had spots, but he had a huge rack. He was a 4-pointer, man. I saw him straight up jumping clear a fence.
Nice.
I was like, that's definitely gonna be on somebody's trophy wall in a couple years from now. Not mine probably, but somebody's gonna get it. But
pretty big ones around here. They're definitely not as like they used to be, but you'll see a good 6-8 pointers around here.
Yeah, we don't really get deer that big. Like we saw bucks, but they still weren't terribly big.
Yeah.
Because it was only bucks. So we haven't got any rain lately here, especially in our part of Texas. So like we didn't even see there was no prints, there was no hog poop, there was nothing. There was no ruts.
Yeah.
There was nowhere for the hogs to rut. So basically it was just dry. So the only thing out there were deer. And I don't understand how the deer survive without any damn water, but they do. But there was no hogs.
Yeah, we've been wicked dry too. We've actually had forest fires in Massachusetts, and we never have that stuff here.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's cooler. I don't think you guys have a hog problem on the East Coast except for like Florida. Probably, I don't even know they got them in. I imagine they got them in South Carolina, but it's not like it is when the further south you go.
Yeah. How was the eating on those things? Are they good or?
No, it tastes like shit, man.
That's what I thought.
You can take them, right? You can take them and brine them, and they taste better.
Yeah.
You can take them and cut them up and mix the meat in with pork shoulder and get a better product when you add some of that fat to it. But the little ones taste good.
Yeah, because they're not so tough.
Yeah, but those boys, nah. Plus, cleaning the male hogs is not that fun anyway. It's cleaning around dick and balls is just not that damn fun. So this is not fun. But the females taste better. I wouldn't eat a male.
Now, is that because the females are younger or like older or?
It's got more fat on them.
I gotcha.
They got more fat on them. But now those males are terrible. Don't eat those males. They're just ugh.
That's like I go striper fishing and I'll catch a couple keepers and I'll let them go right back out in the ocean. I just don't feel like cleaning them and scaling them, and it's disgusting.
Yeah. Also, they smell like the meat
Yo,
still. The meat's like after you clean a hog, that meat still smells like
it
pig
smells.
shit. It still stinks. And I know that like even when I clean them and the blade never touched the outside, it still fucking
You can still
stinks.
smell it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still gross. But yeah, so Joe, tell us about when you first got into reptiles. Tell us about how it was growing up in Massachusetts.
Growing up in Massachusetts wasn't bad. The reason why I got into reptiles is my mother used to work in a pet shop, and I was very young. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and she would actually take me on the weekend to the pet shop while she worked, and I had free run at the place, and I would run around and play with all kinds of different animals, fish, reptiles, and I was just always fascinated with reptiles. And even at a young age, they would. I told this story before, but they would get out, and they all we had was those old screen tops with the glass cages, and I learned pretty quick early in the morning if when we would go in there is you just look on top of the mice cages for those snakes that would get out, and there they were. And it was pretty easy, and it kind of it just I just was fascinated with them, and it just I think I had my first gardener snake at 6, 7 years old, and learned from there, and just slowly I've had a lot of different reptiles, and I've gone everywhere from lizards, fish to now it's just green trees. And back in like the early 2000s, I got my first green tree in 1998. Kept it for about 4 or 5 years, and back then you didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of research sources to find that they were all with parasites and stuff. So I kind of learned everything the hard way that 4 or 5 years in the early 2000s.
Okay, what type of fish did you keep, Joe?
Cichlids.
Okay,
Yeah, I used to keep all kinds, and I always loved the African cichlids, and they look like a saltwater fish, but with less work, and they would kind of eat each other down, but they, like I said, they would look like a saltwater fish, and everybody would come in and think it would be a saltwater tank, and it's not.
okay. What type of lizards did you keep in the past?
I mean, I had everything. I mean, iguanas and all, nothing crazy, no, no bigger lizards, but a lot of little small stuff when I was a kid. I learned enough to know that they take a lot of work compared to some snakes.
Do you think lizards? Some lizards are. Some
Yeah,
lizards
yeah.
are.
When you get dealing with the crickets and the mealworms and all that, it's you're kind of on a daily basis with that, feeding them.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That is actually
I
true.
even I had a box turtle, and I mean he was a daily thing. I would always have to take care of him. You know,
I hate turtle water. I hate this. I
thank
hate
God
this.
there's a box turtle. I would never have a water turtle. I've seen enough of them to never go down that road. That's for sure.
I remember when I was in 7th grade, there was a kid who drank turtle water
Oh,
out of the turtle tank in our science class. It was, I don't
how
know,
do you do the
man.
next day?
I don't really remember. He wasn't very smart
No, no, I
anyway.
didn't think so.
I forgot his name. He was an odd man out. Like also like he was a kid that definitely stuck out
Yeah.
amongst the kids. So I think that the worst thing they ever gave that kid was to show Jackass. Cause yeah,
Yeah, it gave him the right to do stupid shit, right?
I don't even know if it was right. Like it was just that era as a kid. Like
Yeah.
it was always a kid that was trying to do stuff like that. I was like, damn man, I hope that your parents' insurance is real good. Okay, so let's talk about when did you first get your first green tree? How did that first experience go?
That first
Um,
experience, I mean, I don't know. I first saw one in one of those reptile magazines, back
Yeah.
in probably, I had like I said, my mother worked at a pet shop, so I had boas, I had albino Burmese pythons, ball pythons. I was always the guy that I had a couple big cages, and it just seemed like everybody would call me once the snake got 3 or 4 feet, and I would take it over and put it in my cages and go from there. And so I always had big snakes back in the day, and I liked them. I loved those albino Burmese pythons. They were some of the most friendliest snakes, and unfortunately, you can't have them here anymore.
Yeah.
It's just and I get it. I see down in Florida when all those hurricanes hit 20 years ago. That's how all that shit got out.
Yeah. Most of them probably got out at that point. Probably some people. It probably didn't help that some people probably bought them thinking that they
Oh,
were
and throw them
gonna
out
be
there.
small and just throw them out, and they just survived in Florida.
Yeah. I definitely remember back in the day, like I was watching when those hurricanes were hitting. This was like 20 years ago, and a couple of the factories down there, they just got wiped out, and there was no snakes to be had, and they slithered away.
Yeah, I know the last time I was watching something about Florida, like there's like chameleons in Florida all over the place now and stuff. Because it's just a good place to live for reptiles. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
it's just the climate is for it.
But like I foresee that over the next 20 years, that stuff is gonna spread west through South Georgia, South Mississippi, most of Louisiana into East Texas. Like I think that stuff is gonna move. I think that people joke about it being Florida now, but I don't think that stuff is gonna stay in Florida. Just I don't at this point in time. I don't think so.
Yeah, but you guys get some cold weather down there.
It's probably just as warm here right now as it is in Florida,
Florida, yeah.
especially in this part of Texas. But East Texas, man, it's like a swamp. Like when you drive in the East Texas towards Houston, like it'd be a while before you figure out you in Texas because a lot of it looks like Louisiana.
Yeah.
So it's like Georgia got swamps, Mississippi got swamps. So
Yeah.
like it's a lot of area for these animals to live in, where they can wreak havoc for a long time, and it's not like anybody's gonna be able to do anything about it.
Nobody's gonna know until there's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of those movies that you see about swamps, like that stuff's not even filmed in Louisiana. It's filmed in South Georgia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a lot of that stuff is filmed in South Georgia. I don't know why, but it is. But yeah, I foresee the Florida issue becoming an issue in more places than just Florida.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
who knows? I could be wrong.
Even for a snake person, I'm glad they're down there grabbing them out of the wild. I mean,
Yeah.
there's big ones I've seen get pulled out of there.
Yeah, I know people they get upset about it, but it's just like, what do you want them to do? It's just like they're destroying natural habitat.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking out everything. You gotta do a little, I would say control.
Yeah, I mean, you also got like cats too, but
Yeah,
like cats are a big cause of habitat destruction. But I don't know if you're gonna get away with just capturing cats and killing them on
no,
TV. And I don't think
not in this day of life.
nah, people lose their minds if you did that to cats. But yeah, so from there, after you got your first one, how long was it before you got your second one?
I think I got a couple of them actually right away.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I think I lost two of them. I think the biggest thing was just trying to get them to eat. And this was, back in the early, this was 1999, 98, before 9/11. And I just didn't have the resources to kind of understand it, I guess, as I would say. And they were mostly all neos. They were never adults.
Do you know what they were?
Probably BX.
Okay. Where
Uh,
were we keeping them in?
I wish I gotta pull a couple of my pictures out, but I had a nice tub set up. I might have put it on. I think I was using pine shavings, which you'd never use nowadays. But
Yeah.
I will say my tub setups for 1998 were looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing. It's like a rite of passage. Like your first deal is probably not
Yeah,
gonna make it. Your first year is
no,
probably not gonna make it. You got to go through it. Um, I think it's just part of it. I remember my first one didn't make it, but I kept mine in glass. So Joe, you were definitely doing way better than I was.
yeah, but I got an Exoterra when I got back in the game, so I can't.
No, Joe, how'd you do it, Joe? Why'd you do it?
That just I don't know, man. It was just So this was my thing. I got rid of them. Yeah, I had them for about five years. I think 2002 after 9/11, I got out of it, and I had a mismatch of different stuff like carpet pythons and stuff, just basic stuff I was buying at the expos. My original plan was to get a pair of something and breed it and go on down the line, and it just didn't work out that way. And even the green trees, I could get them to eat anoles back then, and that was a good thing. Once you could put them in there, and I didn't. Like I said, I wasn't treating for any parasites or anything, but as long as I could get them to eat a couple of anoles, and I could kind of switch them over to the mice, and I think I got four of them, and I did lose two of them. And I think that's just lack of experience back then.
Yeah. Also, one thing about it is one thing that I realized over the years is like I think that we try to keep the humidity too high.
Yeah,
I think that when you try to do it in glass, not only are you trying to keep it too high, but you're keeping it inconsistent, but you're also probably creating mold, and it's probably becoming a bigger issue than you think it is because it's not really drying out. You're trying to keep the humidity up. Um, so I think that that's one of the things that like happens to a bunch of new keepers is that humidity is an issue, um, and exoterras make it harder to do that.
I have so many people that they're like, oh, I got my setup, and I'm like, oh, what is it? And it's like, oh, it's like a 2x2x3, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. It's way too big. Let's just stick with a tub setup, and we'll go from there. And they want to put these little babies in these big huge setups, and they're not really doing their research at all. That's for sure.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from people having like a bunch of misconceptions, right? And like I know that this could be probably taken wrong, but fuck it. A lot of people, when I first started, the only place that you could get information from really at the drop of a dime was the MVF forum on Tap Talk and Facebook groups, right? If you didn't want to talk to anybody. But now there's so much information, and I think people see a lot, and they think that like off the bat that's supposed to be them.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at Instagram, it's just like no. You need to start off real simple, and you need to understand that once you get a Neo, like the Neo's not supposed to be in this huge display cage because it's just a Neo. Like it needs cover. So I think that's a big issue.
But they see these beautiful setups with the rock and the mist coming down and all the plants. And they're like, oh, I want to put it in there. And I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, how many snakes do we see actually survive in those ecosystem setups?
Probably not a
What
lot.
up,
Even if you
Joe?
Oh,
probably
What's
look
going
at the
on,
zoos,
Joe?
probably not a lot.
so, how you doing?
All right, man. Just got home. Just got in. I was listening to you on the way.
Yeah,
I
you were
was
supposed to
listening
be here.
to
You said you was gonna be here on time.
I was
hey
hoping you
man.
were getting late. I didn't want you to be early for my show.
I was
Hey,
hoping
congrats.
that I was hoping that Travis got attacked by that bull that chased him.
That's not how it happened. Did I tell you how it happened?
Those things will kick your ass, right?
Oh man, that bull was huge. So like on the land, it's like a ranch, and so there's a bunch of it's a cattle ranch, but we can just go there and shoot hogs or whatever else you want to shoot. So I came down. There's a feeder at the bottom of where we make camp, and I came down that little hill because I'm just like throwing corn, like a little flower girl,
Yeah.
just throwing corn all over the place. And I look to the left of me, and I got this big ass 40-pound bag of corn. And I look to the left, and it's a big ass bull, and it starts running towards me. And then I look to the left of me, and like out of a bush, there was another cow with his head out, like in Jurassic Park. Then I dropped that cord. I was like, man, fuck this. Y'all can have this cord. I ain't about to get trouble by a bull and shit. So yeah, you got chased by a bull.
This deer, I'm eating this deer for the first time. But this you can still smell the outside on it.
Good.
It smells like grassy plains and shit.
That was a fresh deer, man. That was off a mule deer.
Yeah, because it's
what is a mule deer?
It's a big ugly deer.
What?
It's an ugly deer. It's not a cute deer. It's an ugly one.
I ain't gonna lie, whatever it is, it smells like I'm at the zoo. It tastes good though.
I'm glad it tastes good, man. But yeah, that's
on football.
Huh?
Congrats on the football.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, man.
Huh?
You got the state championship this past fall.
That's pretty good. Your first year, huh?
Yeah. That was the first. This is the first year in the Unlimited Football League. So, yeah. Especially going through the spring, y'all been paying attention. Y'all know what happened in the spring. So to do this, yeah, I think it's a good achievement. I'm proud of my son, proud of his team. You know, coaching staff. You know, all
That's
that
good.
stuff.
Get a little
Good season
motivation
for
for next year.
Yeah.
Is
that
Cash in the background?
No.
Oh.
Or probably is if you hear something.
I hear it knocking.
Yeah, I hear it. It's not on my end though.
That's him.
All right, so after you got your first few and you figured out, you know, how you wanted to keep them, what were your plans from there?
It seemed like but before you go, it seemed like we all started off with the exoterrors too, by the way.
With the what?
With exoterrors.
Oh yeah, we all did. Exoterrors ruined us, man. We all thought
that's the beginning. That's the beginning of Green Tree Python kid.
98, I actually had a perfect tub set up, and then I got rid of them 4 or 5 years ago, or 4 or 5 years into it, and then my first tank back was an exoterra. But you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah, that's all part of it. Is just figuring out how to go ahead.
I feel like though I could have a room of exoterras and I could still probably be fine with them as long as my room was, you know, acclimated, you know, the right way, and I think I'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think I could keep up with it, like especially with the humidity.
Yeah.
Especially not here in Texas.
I would just get a glass top. You take a piece of glass and you cut it out and you put it on the top and you can kind of slide it back and forth with the humidity bottle.
I tried that. I actually tried that. I had one that I modified with plexiglass, and then I sold it because when I had it, like I had similar issues with the humidity, and I just got rid of it eventually. I didn't use it for like 3 years, and I just sold it to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I still got mine in my shed. I used it for a quarantine one for a couple times on imports, and worked pretty good for that. So you know, I took a heat panel and screwed it into the screen top with the 2 little plastic things.
What up, Chad? I didn't mean to be rude, y'all. What's up, y'all?
Worked pretty good.
So yeah. So after you got your first two to survive, what was your plan from there?
My plan is, like I said back then, I didn't really have a plan. I did want to breed them, and then once I kind of did a little bit of research back then, what I could find, I was just like, this is too much for me. And I think in like 2002, I got rid of them. So I sold my collection. Then about, I don't know, I'd say 11, 12 years ago now, I started getting back into it. And it was funny because back, 12 years ago, I started doing a lot of research, which probably should have done the first time. And a
Yeah.
lot of the things that I had wrong, with going around the first round of three interviews, I'd be like, oh, that tells me right there what happened the last time. So I did a bunch of research before I got back into it to know a little bit about stuff. And like I said, I always knew about snakes, but it's once Facebook came out and stuff like that. I mean, the stuff that you can read, it's unbelievable, the research material.
Yeah.
Now it is. Now
It,
it's easier to get than it used to be.
yeah. But everything I would read, I'd be like, "Oh, that's what happened for me in the past. That's where I went wrong in the past," and so on and so on.
Yeah, now it's a lot easier just to get a hold of information. Um, I will say this
And people too.
is
It's easier to reach out to people that have had
Yeah,
success.
yeah,
yeah, like now, like we've kind of gotten out of this thing where there's like a bunch of little chondro cults. There still exists where it's just like
Well, I say
a,
we haven't got out of there yet, baby.
there's still a bunch of little chondro cults, but there's a lot of people coming
You
in
know
that are not
something?
being inundated in that.
I'm glad you guys brought this up because there's a lot of little cults out there,
There's a
and
lot of little chondro cults.
yeah, and
My breeder does this. My breeder does
yeah,
that.
and I know a few of them don't like me, so that's fine. So
It's okay. A lot of them don't like me either, and I don't give a shit.
yeah, and hey, like they say, with a little bit of success comes some haters. That's for sure.
Well, a whole bunch of nut goblin too, but that's a different story for a different day. Uh,
See, everybody hates. Oh, y'all. Everybody loves me.
I don't think that's true. I know some people that hate your ass. I know some people that hate your ass.
It doesn't matter. You could stay quiet out there. Like I post some stuff and I talk to a few people, but I don't really answer people's questions or anything unless they private message me. And I still see people out there bashing me. I'm like, wow, that's just that's not right. But whatever.
I mean, you also got to kind of realize this with a lot of that shit is just you got to ask yourself like, what are they really gonna do to you? Like,
Yeah,
what are you actually gonna do? Like, you gonna say this shit in a forum? You're not gonna let me come to whatever function it is.
I don't know, man. You might get threatened, brother.
I mean, nobody's threatened me yet physically.
no,
I don't
no,
know, man.
no.
You might get a threat with the light switch.
I don't think
Just
that's
that
what's gonna happen.
just that hunting trip.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that bull was threatening me. I ain't gonna lie, and I backed down. I, I backed down. That motherfucker was big. I looked at that. I looked at that bull. I felt like it was sitting up higher than I was. I was like, fuck. So I'm not about to die today.
Back in the day when I lived up north, up in New Hampshire with my father for a while, and we have bears up there, just black bears, nothing crazy. But I walked out of the barn one night, and I almost literally walked into a bear, and I could feel him. He was right there in the pitch black.
Oh,
Hear
shit.
him, and guys, I screamed like a bitch. I ran the other way. The bear ran up the tree, thank God, because I screamed, and we got some pictures of the bear up in the tree. But I'll admit it, man, I screamed like a bitch and ran the other way.
I'll say
I
this.
probably would too, dog. If I
Yeah,
looked to my left and I seen the bear.
yeah, I'm all set, man.
I didn't scream, but I definitely told myself in that very instant, you can have all the corn in this bag. You can have my wallet. You can have whatever. I'm not getting hit by no bull, man.
Hey, that bull, he looked like he was like an old bull. He done dodged a couple like bow and arrows or something.
Nah, bro, that was a breeder bull. That motherfucker had pit bull muscles on it. I was like, no.
So what? Y'all don't hunt the bulls?
No, man, these are like actual cattle bulls. Like,
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like the bull male, the deers.
nah,
Yeah,
he was
it's just
like,
not like native out in the wild. Or
nah, it's a ranch.
okay.
It's a ranch. So like on the ranch we can hunt the deer. When it comes down to the pier where they let us hunt the deer, we'll go hunt the deer. But like it's open season at the ranch for the hogs.
Yeah.
So but there were no hogs because there was no water, but it's cattle everywhere. It's a bunch
Really,
of
yeah.
female cows. But yeah, man, that fucking bull was huge. And then the heifers, they started fucking hitting each other to get to the corn at the top of the feeder. So they was all angry, man. All the damn cattle, they were all angry, and I wasn't about to get fucked up by no cow or no bull.
Yeah, so
So
you can bait them in the summer here, like the deer, but you can't bait them around hunting season.
you can, right? So you can until like you had a piece of land where the deer are just getting they're getting shot at, but they can run off. But
Yeah.
like because that whole ranch is like fenced in, the deer they just kind of like rotate from like house to house getting shot at. It's actually kind of cool when you see it in real life from a vantage point. You see like one herd of deer go from one blind, go from
Oh,
one
Pat,
feeder to
whatever.
another. What's up, cousin Pat? But yeah, man, enough about hunting and shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. So let's talk about once you came back into the game with knowledge of
Yeah.
Chondro, not knowledge of Chondro cult. Um, tell us about that.
Yeah. So about 12 years ago, I got back into it. And, I decided to just, I did my research and I really did not want to get back into it. But I just, my daughter was graduated, she was out of the house, and I needed something to get back into. And it used to be a dirt bike rider, and I just was getting too old for that. And I've always been fascinated with these green tree pythons. And when I did my collection last time, like I said, I had a mismatch of shit. And this time I was just like, I just want to stick with green trees and just, work on those and see what happens. So about 12 years ago, I started, I got a BIAC, and then I started getting in contact with a bunch of, real breeders that I didn't even know were out there. I think my second snake was from Buddy Buscemi, was a nice green tree.
Shout out to Buddy.
Yeah,
Shout out to Buddy.
got a couple from him. I even got a couple from him later on. And just, really, I never knew about designer line snakes, and, started doing all the research into that and figuring all that out. And I just slowly, the last 10, 12 years, just slowly built my collection back up. And I don't have a big collection. I only have 5 females and probably 6 males right now. And 3 of the males are useless, to be honest. I got the 3 good males that will breed, and the other 3 males I'm still trying to get them going, see if they get any.
I don't know who Thomas James is, but I don't think that you'll say that shit in Memphis.
They said
So look,
nobody in Texas actually comes to a high stress and be the hillbilly shit. Western and Trailer Park hillbilly from Memphis.
I don't know who you think you are playing, but I don't think you're gonna say that shit around them parts of Memphis. But anyway, back to it. So
So why you taking these random shots at Memphis?
I don't know who this
Oh,
is,
Memphis.
but let's talk about when you decided to get into the Cyclops. Hold on, I'm gonna go get some beer. Keep going.
He said the hillbilly Memphis shit. Hey, Travis is about to go do some hillbilly Memphis shit right now.
Probably grabbing a drink. So the Cyclops, it took me a while. I started buying snakes. I bought a couple of designers, and then I was looking at a locality to get into, and this guy, actually a local guy from me, James Gabriel, he used to have Beantown Arboreals, I think it was.
Beantown Arboreals, yeah.
Yeah. So he had bought 4 baby Cyclops from Ryan Burke.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I really wish I knew what the other 2 where they went, but so I ended up buying 2 of them off of him, and just hoping and praying it was a pair. And we actually, I was hoping he was going to keep his, but he never did, because if I had a female, we would have switched it out. So I only got that 1 pair. I actually have another male Cyclops that I got from Ryan later on, but I only had that 1 pair of Cyclops. And for years, they would breed, and nothing. And that was even after 2 years of cycling. So finally, on their 3rd year, after 2 good years of cycling, she finally hit for me. And she's a little snake. And Kino, I want to talk to you about you always talk
What up, Delic?
how small your Cyclops are.
Yeah.
I tell you, mine are the same things, man. Both parents are really small, and even the babies right now are tiny. And they're probably on 25, 30 meals right now. And they're still, they're starting to get a little bit of size now.
Yeah. Man's like that too. It's like they starting to get a little size, but
yeah.
Dog, they were on. I was talking about this with Travis earlier. How the artifact and Sarong and Cyclops outcast babies that I produced in 23. I had them. I think maybe on like 3 or 4 pinkies before before I moved them up to fuzzies.
Yeah.
And man, I was just looking at these Cyclops, and I think they were on like 10, 12 pinky before I even tried a fuzzy.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think I only tried a fuzzy with maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Like even I think I got my rodent guy. It's actually pretty good. He's a local guy to me, so I can tell him kind of what size I want, and he can put them down. So I was getting like peach fuzzies for the longest time, and even with the peach fuzzies, they're starting to put on weight now, but I feel like they're still kind of small.
Yeah.
And
I feel the same way. Yeah.
I had a designer clutch 3 weeks after that Cyclops clutch, and all those designer babies are twice the size of the Cyclops.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's starting that we see them same damn things, and it's like I got this female recovering right now from that clutch, and when I first got her, she was like 1,300 grams.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know she wasn't supposed to be that because she was like 4. But it's like, as she puts weight back on now, it's like she's back to the almost like what a Cyclops female is supposed to be, like the small body, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they got length, but they just don't got the girth like Beox or some other animals.
Yeah, even my Cyclops, I was going to give her another shot this year. That was the last post on my Instagram was a Cyclops breeding. But they went right back at it. I took a lot slower approach this year with breeding because my snakes always win at the end of the year anyways. So I figured this year I would just cycle an extra month. I just started feeding them back probably, 3-4 weeks ago. My thing is what I do is in July, probably the first week in July, I'll shut them off. July, August, September, maybe September 20th, I'll start feeding them again and go from there. And that seems to work for me in my neck of the woods.
Did you do anything different the third time you tried to breed the pair from the first 2 times?
Just more of a cycle. Did
you do like food cycling and heat cycling?
Yeah, I did food cycle and light cycling. Definitely temperature change a lot colder. I go to this year I'm going to 75, 76 that night. And that's a slow, it's finally cold here now. But this year I like I said, my daughter was getting married, so I wanted to kind of take a, I guess, slower approach.
Yeah.
I told myself I wasn't going to breed this winter at all, but you know how that goes. It's just, I got 3 females. I'm hoping I get something out of them.
Well, what are those 3 females, by the way?
So I got a Cyclops, I got a Biak female, and then the other ones are Roo Sarong / Biak locality.
Okay.
And both those, the Biak actually came from Wilbank's ball pythons emporium there.
Okay.
So it actually was, and when I got it, I think it was a little bit before COVID or at the end of COVID, and I was very surprised. You know, I've heard stories, you know, about different places, but you know, it came to me. It was a very clean snake. You know, I tested it, I treated it, and so far it's been really good. The Biak, and she was a red Biak, and I think she's about 6 years old now, and I'm hoping, you know, she's very small, and I'm hoping I can get her to go. And then I got this Aru Sarong / Biak that I'm gonna give her a shot too. I'm just not 100%, you know, which male I'm gonna put her. You know, I have this one male TK that did my 2 designer pairings, and he seems to always get the job done. And I even put him with a female last year, even though my 3rd clutch, she slugged out at the end, and I only had 2 go the distance, and those 2 didn't survive after incubation. So it's just one female I'm trying to figure out.
Damn chondros, man.
I feel like her eggs, and the first time she laid a bunch of good eggs for me, and I got to find that sweet spot to cut her eggs and let those babies out, because the eggs are so tough. And I just think I got to find that perfect day during incubation for that one female to cut the eggs and just to have them to survive.
Well, what temperature are you incubating at?
The first year I was a little warm. I think I was like 87 to 88. The second year I dropped. I probably was at 87 to 86 in between those 2 things. And I think I did 87 for 3.5 weeks, and then I drop it down to 86.5. And then, you know, once you get to day 50, I think I'm on 86 degrees right there.
Okay.
But you know, I've only had 2 successful breeding season years. I've had 5 clutches. One was a total failure. But that was in a quick 2 years. So I've definitely learned a lot within the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, you gotta have a failure clutch, man. You gotta have a whole clutch.
Hey, you
just all the way fucked.
I would prefer not to have had mine.
Hey, man, it's just part of it, man.
I think it's just this one female that I just can't figure out, to be honest.
Bosses take losses, bro.
Yeah. But
right about that one.
My first breeding season, I had a lot of stillborns in the egg on both clutches, and I just think it was from overcooking them and not cooling them down, you know, at the end.
Yeah.
So you said you had what? You didn't have 4 successful clutches?
Yep.
Out of the 5?
Yep.
So so we talked about how you know you had to basically take your time with the Cyclops. Excluding those, what are some benchmarks that you look for your clutches to hit at, like, say 6 months, or when are you looking for them to bump them up to that fuzzy size prey?
I guess it all depends on how big the snakes are, like the Neos. You know, this past year, I really feel like I kept them on pinks and peach fuzzies way too long. And I think that's something I'll definitely change next year if I have success. You know, get them on those fuzzies a lot quicker, and maybe even try, you know, the chicken gizzards for a couple times just to get them going. I did have one, you know, I knew it was going to happen. I did have one Neo this year, a Cyclops prolapse, and I gave it a few hours. I tried to do the home method, and it just rolled on me 3 hours later. And I was kind of glad because I didn't want one that's going to have issues in the future if I could have got it back in. But it was only one because when one goes, you're looking at all the rest of them. And
yeah, like who's next?
I can't.
Who
Knock on wood.
Fuck up my day next.
Yeah, I said knock on wood. It's only been one so far. So,
well, even when like when you have those neos that you lose, man, you also gotta factor into it. Like you're probably in the wild. Like the majority of these neos wouldn't survive.
All right. I had a couple neos my first year get hung up on shedding, and they probably would have killed themselves if I didn't go in there and help them take the shed off. They were all hung up upside down. It was just like I'm like, and everybody says it's like, how the fuck did these things survive out in the wild?
We don't know. we question it, man. Like we question it.
Yeah.
What up, West Coast? Adrian, what's up, dog?
We all think about it, like after you have neos, you probably just man, these things are kind of stupid.
And even the adults, I mean, they're not. I guess
they're being called pink elephant.
I think also when you keep them in a box, they don't have any other skills that they would have.
What?
Yeah, that's probably true, especially when you think about it like this. It's like in the wild, these things probably wouldn't need a puppy pad. But because you condition it to stay in its damn box, maybe, just maybe, it thinks that you need puppy pad is a good idea.
It's a plastic box. It's plastic lighting. It's plastic everything. I mean, I know people have these things live for 30 years, but I just feel like sometimes the way we keep them is not the greatest in the plastic.
That's probably true, but. Every time that happens, I always ask myself, it's just like, well, what else would you do better? And how would you do better with keeping all the snakes that you have now? Like, that's my question now. Because we talked to several people, and it's just like, yeah, I'd like to give them more enrichment, but how? Like, how do I give them all more enrichment?
When you have a big collection, it's if you have one or two, you could probably do it, but big collection, it's impossible.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But, how many chondros you at now, Joe?
Like I said, I got 5 females, 6 or 7 males, and then I don't know, what do I have left? I have 15 from this year left. Cyclops and designers, and then I have 5 holdbacks from last year that I kept.
Okay.
So I've had 34 babies. It's not. I mean, the biggest clutch I had was 12 babies. So I mean, for 4 clutches, it's not the greatest, but I've had some success finally, and that's. I mean, I feel like I went. It was a good 5 or 6 years that I was breeding, and I was getting no results, and I kept on pushing though. I didn't give up, and just did more cycling and more food cycling and just gave it some patience. And I think I think people try to rush them a little bit. I think you got to get to that 6-year mark. And I think you'll have a lot more success, to that 6-year mark. I mean, because I feel like when you're at 4 or 5 years, it's still too young.
Yeah. And a lot of older guys have said that, they say that, but it's hard telling people who they don't say it, but the actions show differently. Like the volume, like trying to have as many clutches as possible. And I do believe that these things in the wild do breed way younger than 6, but I just think it's something different in captivity.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just you got to ask yourself. What do you really want to do? Because I think that it's better to wait. Is it always the easiest thing? Probably not. Probably not.
Well,
So you
even
saying
if you're
all
like,
you saying the green trees and the python in the wild is basically all the males is R. Kelly.
I don't think that you could call them R. Kelly if they young too, bro. Like
Hmm.
I don't. You know what? We're not doing this today. We're not doing this today. We're not. I refuse to do this with you today.
So
I got
you saying the green tree
I got
python he slid up to the
yeah.
female in the tree and asked to see how I did. That's what you saying.
You said that he slithered up to the tree and said, "Would you like to go to America?"
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, look, baby, I'm trying to check them grams.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's have something to tell you for like $1,500 too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I,
he,
I don't. I don't think that. I don't think that we really quite know, man. I defer to
He
people that
said
have been
them
doing this
grams slugging,
longer.
baby.
Delix just said not today, Satan. Hey, man, you know when you think about it, I do think that that has a lot to do with it. But you know, how much does it really affect it, man? Like how much does it?
yeah,
We don't even track that stuff
no.
really.
But Keno,
I mean,
did you get a
I'm,
lot of stock from Ryan Burke for the Cyclops?
yeah,
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 I got all everything, all my cyclops from Ryan.
I told
that's
you.
that's what
Told you.
The whole thing with me with like the imported stuff, um, I ain't really trust a lot of people. So when I locked in with Ryan, like he was the only one I was going to for the simple fact of everybody know the horror stories about imports, and I just feel like if you got a good source for imports, man, shit, buy from that into the whale drive.
yeah. You're lucky because you
And,
look at it
and
now.
Ryan is a good dude. Like besides the imported stuff, man, Ryan like a brother to me. So um, to me, it was easy just to keep doing business with him.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, like I was saying, I'm sure. I mean, it's a small world over there. I hate to say it. I know people are going to say it isn't, but I mean, I'm sure some of our snakes are related somewhere along the. You know,
probably,
it's
probably.
Yeah, I think that also one of the bigger questions to ask is just like how much do we really know about the farm bred
I'm
animals?
over there. Yeah,
Like,
That's why I
how are
stopped
they
buying.
rotating those animals out? Like,
That's why I
how much do
stopped
we
buying
really know?
wild cards. You know what I'm saying? The wild card stuff because I was just like, at a certain point, like the farm animals that I had, I sold them because they wasn't like phenotypically they wasn't what I wanted.
yeah,
Like I had like a lot of farm animals from Ryan at the beginning when I went all Cyclops. I think it was like maybe 5 or 6.
yeah,
2 of the young males died early. Like probably about that right before that 1 year. It was about before they were 100 grams. Two
yeah,
of them died early through some health complications. And when those 2 males died, should I so said to myself like all the males I get from now on is gonna be wild caught. You know,
Mm.
I just wanted to that phenotype that I was looking for. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play with the wild stuff. And
yeah,
I didn't want to play with the wild stuff at first, but I mean, what I wanted to get, and people didn't have, and then you had when I first got in, it was really like only one Cyclops breeder, and he kind of fishy to me. That's my personal opinion. So I was just like, I'm gonna stay away from him and just build up from the ground up, basically.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing you did because look at like there's I mean you don't I'm sure there's some undercover stuff out there, but you don't see a lot of them anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people. I think a lot of people kind of took the approach I was doing and went like you said, doing undercover because a lot of the Cyclops, by the time that like the public would see my Cyclops, I would have had them for like maybe minimum a year.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if Travis remember, I used to send my pictures that animals that it was there were animals that probably about at the 12 or 14 mark that died like right when they were supposed to come out of quarantine, and I never posted pictures of them publicly, and I would send them to Travis, and I'd be like,
I
man, fellas,
remember.
man. I'm like, man, the day I sent you that picture, that motherfucker died.
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
It's a curse. It's the curse. As soon as you put it out on Facebook or whatever.
Hey,
He would send me pictures of animals, and I'd be like, "Oh, cool," because I'd probably be busy doing some shit, and then I go back through my messages because I mean to send him something about something. I see this snake, I'm just like, "Hey man, how that snake doing that you sent me like a week ago?" Oh, that motherfucker died.
but the minute I took a picture of it, it's like the picture cursed, bro. It's like the
Did you do a
minute.
lot of
So,
treatment on them, Kino?
huh?
Did you do a lot of treatment on them, or?
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
snakes I do. I did treatment on them, but I didn't do pedicure right away. I will always soak them first,
yeah,
soak them good. And I would try to get a shed out of them and a few meals in them first before I start doing the pedicure.
yeah,
Because the imports when they come in, they be so emaciated and dehydrated. And then when you do research on like where these islands are and those bull rides, and you just start doing that, you just start adding up. You like, damn, this animal probably had no meal, or probably ain't drank no good water in like 4 or 5 months.
yeah,
Also, when
Three,
you look
four
at
months.
imports and you get an import in, you don't really know what that import looks like until like after 3 or 4 sheds.
yeah. But
That's
it,
true too.
That's when you actually see what that import actually looks like.
yeah, it's
Yep.
smart to get them eaten first though, because once you treat them with the parasite stuff, I feel like they shut down, and that was always the experience I had.
Okay.
I think you gotta give them a few meals before you start to
Yeah.
give them
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
panicare.
never like the first that pedicure come in because I was always afraid, man. Like, damn, this animal's already small, and then whatever parasites is in it, it's already adjusted to that. So it's that basically those parasites, the animal are living off each other. So I was always, man, let me get some substance in this. And there were times where shit, I would get animals shitting out worms before I even give them the pedicure.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe just a consistent diet or something, clearing them out.
I feel
But
like they treat them before they come here, because even one of the ones that I had tested, they could tell it was treated. Um,
really,
yeah.
Hmm.
So, but unfortunately, when I treated it, it shut down, and it also had Nido too. It was another one, and well, once I only bought 2 snakes with Nido, so it was
okay.
one was an import. Um, it was what do they call it? Batana.
Latanta.
Batanta.
Tanta, yeah, it was a beautiful snake too, and unfortunately, it came in. It had a lot of parasites. You could tell they pulled it from the wild, but that had Nido. And then I bought this beautiful. Before that, I bought this beautiful. I would say it was a designer snake. It was from Sandro DePinto.
Yeah,
The was it the Insanity line?
yeah.
And I got one from a third party from his line, and
You said third what? Say it again.
from a third party.
I love how you said that. You said third party.
Yo, don't let this man harass you.
Hey, y'all say potty like we say car.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, we
Chicago
got the
people don't
car.
pronounce the R. We don't pronounce the R in car. It's
The
car.
Just
car's
like
all.
y'all don't pronounce the D in mild sauce.
Mal. It's no. Mal sauce is MILE. It's not MILD,
ILD.
brother.
Shut your ass up.
The car's always parked in the yard. But what was I saying?
You said you was late to the party.
See, Kino, you done fucked it up, man.
Oh, sorry. He said potty, man. He threw me off, man.
What were we talking about?
He's talking
Yeah.
about being late to the party on what was that? Parasites? I think we was talking about parasites.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So I bought the Sandro DePinto from a third party. It was a Biak. Thinking it was my golden ticket. It had already bred. and it was 11-year-old snake, 11 or 12-year-old snake, so it was pretty old. I got that in, and unfortunately that had Nido, and I learned a lot from that snake, I will say. As soon as when I brought it in, you never would have thought it had Nido. And then during the summer months, what would happen is when it would get humid, you'd see that little bit of a drool, but then it would go away, and I'd be like, something's up with this one. So I ended up Nido testing it, and of course it was positive.
Drew.
And unfortunately, I brought that one into my collection. I only had probably 5 or 6 snakes at the time, and I brought that one into my collection. And of course, I thought I was going to lose my whole collection because that was kind of early in the Nido days when you didn't really know. So, good friend, Buddy Buscemi, he called me up on a Sunday. I reached out to him and told him my issues, and he's like, Joe, don't worry about it. Just put it in another room. I would run tests on all your snakes and go from there. And then that way you know what you got, And I'm thinking I have 4 or 5 Nido positive snakes. I ran probably 3 or 4 different types of times of testing, and it was just that one snake that kept popping up. All mine were clean. So what I did was I treated it for parasites because I don't know why I did it. And after I did that, it literally shut down, stopped eating, and just slowly wilted away to nothing.
How did you
That was a captive bred animal?
What's that?
That was a captive bred animal?
Yep.
How did you measure your panicure? Did you get it from a vet?
Vet, and it
no,
was
did he?
measured in. They gave you these little shot needle vials, and they were already measured.
Okay.
Thing.
Did you give it to the snake directly?
It was in the center of the back, a little bit above more.
So, I know, I think that I always put it in the feeder. And my last vet, or my current vet, he told me that it'll take you longer to give it to them in the feeder, but it is somewhat less harsh.
Less harsh, yeah. As soon as I started giving injections, you could just see the snake shut down. And, I don't think I'll ever go that route again, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just don't think I will ever again. I think I finally have enough in my own collection that I won't have to worry about bringing any imports in and doing that stuff ever again. I wouldn't mind bringing in a captive bred, a Neo or something like that, or some more different kind of designer blood. But I think I'll stay away from it for now.
I don't know. I like imports.
I like them too, but I just hate putting them in a different room and going through all that. I feel like, and I haven't had to go through that in the last probably, I'd say 4 or 5 years now. It's definitely been pretty easy. I mean, I'm a negative person. I still walk in my room thinking everything's going to die the next day.
I'm a negative person.
I walk into my room think I forgot to give something a water bowl back. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Not that anything's dead in there, but I took a water bowl out for some reason and didn't replace it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I run everything negative, and even when it comes to breeding, I put myself at a total loss in the beginning of the season. That way, I'm not crying at the end.
Yeah.
But Keno, it took a good 3 years for those Cyclops, and they would lock up, every week. And I got nothing the first 2 years, and then finally the third year, she finally went for me, and I think I got 15 eggs out of her, and then 12 made it. And
when did you at what age? I know you said they were you got them at the same time. At what age did you start trying to pair them?
I would say they were about 4.5, maybe. I want to say that just the way the last couple of years went, so maybe they were a little bit too young. But they would lock up beautiful, thinking something would happen, and then just nothing ever happened.
No, because just listening to you and going through what I went through with the first male that I ended up selling to also, and that male didn't produce for him until he was like 5 years old. Um, just listening to you, shit, I'm starting to think that the females may be six, but the males, how we say like, we always hear like that one male that would start breeding like 16 months before his OCC was done.
Yeah.
And we try to get these males to breed like 3.5 years old. The males may just need time too, to get that sperm to mature.
I
Reach
agree.
for sexual maturity.
Yeah.
Like a fine wine.
Because
Yeah, like a fine wine. He probably can't get it up as well as he can in a couple years.
my stud male, he's probably one of the oldest ones in my collection, and he'll go after anything, and that's I don't want to breed him to everything, but I'm gonna give him a shot at a couple females this year.
You said he ain't working with that floppy rope, huh?
Sounds like Keno at the Special Olympics.
Shout out to the people in the Special Olympics, bro. Y'all matter. Not funny, bro. They humans too. They're people just like us. They matter.
They are.
So, and shout out to the people in the Little Olympics too, brother.
I don't know what that means.
Trail coming for you, Keno. You heard those sirens? Ha ha ha! Hey, they ain't coming for me. I got it on me, brother. I'm gonna grab with the fight.
So Keno, how many clutches did you have this year?
I only produced one this year.
One, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to do two. I wanted to do this Moroccan Biak glitch I got to a Cyclops. But man, look, dog. Every time I put him, this is what 2 years now. Every time I put him with the female, she at least your male locking. This male, he'll be 5 in December.
Yeah.
And man, every time I put him in there with a female, he go under the puppy pad, brother. I come back like an hour later, he is under the puppy pad. I put him in there with the Cyclops female about 3 weeks ago, and she immediately dropped. I mean, I sprayed the tub down, and she immediately dropped her tail.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker looked over there, and he started rubbing his nose along the bottom of the cage trying to get out. I was like, ain't this about it, man? So I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep trying with dude. Like we was just saying, they're probably just not that at that mature age yet. He'll be 5 shit in December, probably beginning of January. So, hopefully I'll try him in the spring, man.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple males. I got the 7-year-old Biak that I want to breed with. I have a female Biak and another one, and I just can't get him to. He's just so aggressive. It doesn't matter what time of year I put him in there. He'll be good for a couple hours, and as soon as the lights go out, he'll just start snapping. And
so like Wesley
he'll start
Pipes.
trying to snap, try to get her.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with him. He's an import.
See, like the abusive monkey. His name probably Ike, brother.
He's just an angry fella.
Does he wear Tim's? Timberland boots?
What?
Does he wear Timberland boots?
I don't know.
You see him doing the
Dougie. Yeah, that male that Keno has, I've got a sibling. My male, he doesn't have that problem, but he's also a giant asshole, like a giant asshole.
That's like my first year though. I had a female and I had actually it's called it's a rotten banana. It was a yellow Neo, and they were my two most angriest snakes. And I said, screw it. I said, this is my first year. I was still trying shit. And I put them together, and it was my first lock. And I couldn't believe how they just both settled down. And I ended up getting a few babies from her. It wasn't the biggest clutch. It's crazy how you can take two angry ones and put them together, and they settle down. And they so far so good.
It's probably a hormone exchange, man.
Yeah,
I mean, humans are the exact same way. They get some
Yeah.
gets
some
you angry.
horizontal shuffling going on.
Some people,
Everybody
some people like
cool.
some people like that. Some people like it rough. You know.
Everybody good after they do that. Gatorade, scrambled eggs, everybody good.
You know. You get a little choking. Then, you know.
He said get choked.
Some people. You know. Some people are not into that.
So Joe, what all do you have in your collection besides Cyclops that you actually really put in some effort into working with?
I mean, I put into effort into anything. You know how you are when
Yeah.
you care for these things. The biggest, I guess, my biggest success would be I bought a Bill Stiegel sickness line animal, 1801.
Shout out to Dr. Stiegel.
Yeah, to Mr. Bill, and back in the day, and then my PK male, I was able to breed those two together to kind of get a designer line going. Well, just to design a pairing going. I shouldn't say line. And I love the variety of them. I mean, it wasn't a solid red clutch, but I had 2 or 3 yellows, and the first pair I got 10 babies. No, actually, it was 8 babies. Sorry, 8 designer babies, and then the second year I did the repeat pairing, and I got 12 beautiful babies from that too. And like I said, I'm just starting to finally get to see them change. I sold a bunch out before, and they got their basic look to them, which is it's kind of cool to see them now. 4 or 5 different snakes that have gone through their color change, and they all pretty much look like the mother, to be honest. But I got a couple that that kind of looked pretty good. Going through the OCC right now. I don't know if you can see. I'll pull a couple out. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but so this was one of them.
Oh, that's dark as hell.
Yeah, extremely dark.
Nice big head on it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the TK line, this
Snake
TK
Keno.
designer always had this big head.
Okay. Okay.
But
So how old is it? I'm about a year old.
this one is no, it's about actually a year and 4 months, I think it is.
No, it's almost 2 years ago. Oh, you said no. You said a year and 2 months.
4 actually.
4
I'm not
months. Okay.
100% sure, to be honest. And then this one actually, crazy to think that this one is from the same pairing, and that's just basic green,
Yeah, that's the Chondro line for you.
Yeah.
They got the genetics though, Joe.
What's that?
They got the genetics though.
Yes, exactly. What I did is when I was first putting these two together, the TK snake had black lineage in it, and obviously Bill's line has some black lineage in it. So I just put them two together, hoping I would get some black. And honestly, the first year I didn't get a lot of black out of them. These two holdbacks, I've definitely got some black in them. You see a little bit of black speckling in the other ones that I've sent out. But at least it's got the lineage in it, But this one, let me see if I can show you this one. This was probably the Stella one from this year.
So this was a repeat pairing.
Yeah, this was a repeat pair.
Okay.
That was a dark one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the lighting. And then
Why your son look like that though, bro? Why look at your son's face, bro?
Like he's mean mugging. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, bro, your son look mad as hell.
And then the good old Cyclops with the diamonds.
That's beautiful.
That's real nice.
Yeah, they all had really good diamonds. I mean, I'd say 4 or 5 of them had more diamonds than normal.
I noticed that about yours. Yours got a lot of yellow diamonds. And they got and those and that eye stripe on the eye. A lot of yours got yellow inside of that.
Yes. So I noticed when they get older, they tend to change to white.
Yeah.
What's your experience with that?
I've seen both. I've seen a lot. I've seen some that come white. Like for instance, like that one you just had with the yellow diamonds. I saw a few years ago. One animal came in with like all white diamonds, just like that, big white diamonds. It was the most white diamonds I ever saw. And Ryan ended up selling it to what's his name? Jason at legless luxuries.
He actually lives in the same state.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's not too far from you.
Shout out to Jason from Legless Luxuries, man. Just a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. But he named it Decimus. And
took that as a
what
diss.
I've noticed is what you say?
So you took that as a diss.
What, they named it Decimus?
Yeah, because he got it and you were supposed to get it.
No.
You know what?
I
was talking to Ryan at that time too.
I actually should not say that. Never mind. But no, I wasn't mad that he got it.
I wasn't
Not
either.
at all. It was a lot of Cyclops that was
what up, MJ?
that sold over like those 2 to 3 years that I ain't gonna comment on, but I checked in on everybody's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
What up, MJ? Chop talk.
Yeah, I think when that changed, I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of more went towards the orange side, right? When it changed.
Which one, Decimus? The one that he has? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I know he was upset with it, and I think when it first like shed out mail, he tried to sell it, and he was like, I think he was kind of upset with it. But I mean, that's the thing with Cyclops, man. They
you
got
did the
so much
same
variety.
thing. I know a guy named Keno who had a nice looking Cyclops.
No,
he thought it
nice
was
looking.
A female.
It wasn't nice
and
looking.
it shed out as a male. And listen, this man was actually depressed.
Umpire.
Actually,
you out of here.
This man was depressed, man.
Yes,
he was actually he was
my whole
legit sad about that shit. This was
I built my whole Instagram page around the animal being female.
This was during the pandemic too.
I think I've cried when I've seen plugs a few times. You know, I knew in the back of my mind it was probably a male, but I mean,
no, this one I thought was a female dog. It would hunt in the same space. It would not move. And it was like when it hit like 22 months.
Yeah.
I saw a shed and I was like,
unfurl that dick on you.
You put the pipe out, and then that's when we have to get that first class ticket to New York City, boss.
They not from around here. They from New York City, boss.
He's from New York City now, boss. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off about that.
It was funny at the end. That was
another reason why before you go. The other reason why I was pissed off about that is because I had passed on so many nice males, like the wild card stuff, and I was trying to collect females that were real nice, and I wanted to get like this is around when like my 2 males died, my 2 young Cyclops males, so I was gonna stack females and get wild card males, and then that motherfucker shed out plug, and I was like, I was like, for a farm baby, this is not what I want my males to be looking like. He was just man. He was all green with like one white flower on him. We couldn't have that. We had to get him up out of there like an umpire.
Hey Joe, we had a question from TPC. He asked a question about what kind of lighting that you use in your cages.
So this is actually,
I was gonna ask that too. That's some nice lighting, like soft blue.
you know what's crazy? It's the Govee strip lighting. So you know the Govee temperature things.
Yeah.
So if you go
It's
on
like the aquarium lighting.
yeah, you can buy these 16-foot strips, and all I did was take the backs of the baby rack off. So you got your back, and I just ran it's just tape, and you cut it, and I ran it in between each thing, and it actually has a dimmer switch on it too, which is pretty cool. And I mean, I think they're only like $24, but it just
Really?
gives it a nice light, I do like lights in the cages. That way, when I do clean them, I can see. This room, I actually for many years, my whole collection was in the back room of the basement, so I got no light. So this is the first year I moved my whole collection into my old daughter's room where we have 3 windows, and so I like how I've always wanted my snakes to get light, just a little bit of natural light coming in. So they wake up with the sunrise, and then my lights click on, and then I'll have the light shut off probably like an hour or two before sunset, and it gives it a little more nature aspect, I guess, instead of being in a dark box all the time. I don't know how it's going to affect my breeding season, but we'll see this year. But yeah, if you go on the Govee website, you'll see this little strip lighting. And it's just white strip lighting, and it's got a little clicker, and you plug them in, and like I say, you run that strip, you glue it on it. It's got an adhesive back, and then you just cut it to where you want it at, and that's it, and it works pretty good.
Where'd you go, Kimo? So what are your what do you plan to do as far as like your Cyclops breeding? Are you trying to have like some form of a designer line with Cyclops and see how far you can get with that?
Yeah, my first 2 years, I actually, it's funny. I love yellow neos, and
Someone was at my back door, man.
and I wanted to produce a bunch of yellow neos, but once I started doing the Cyclops and the designers, unfortunately I love the diamonds, and that's my plan though, is I want to take one of my sickness babies, the best looking one, the darkest one, to one of my best Cyclops, in the next, within 5 or 6 years, and do that pairing and see where I get from that. But I always want to stay, like, I'm going to try to do my Cyclops pairing either this year or next year, get some more babies. I'm going to I want to at least hold 5 of my babies back, the Cyclops, because I only have 1 pair of Cyclops. I do have an extra male, which is a yellow neo. But this Cyclops that I have, it was red dominant, which I was very surprised. I would have thought they would have threw out some yellow, but I see a lot of. What do you think, Kino? Do you get a lot of red dominant in your Cyclops?
I haven't with the Cyclops that I've been breeding, I haven't gotten a yellow one yet.
Yeah, okay.
The first pairing I did was I did 2 Cyclops clutches from 2 different females, and it was the same male though, and both times it was all red babies.
Okay.
So I don't know if the male is red dominant. Well, I know the male is red dominant because he spit out too. But I think, I don't know. I guess both females are red dominant, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I would have to put them with a yellow male to
find out,
to guarantee that. Yeah.
From my research, I see a lot of Cyclops that are red dominant, and the yellow Cyclops that I bought, he was a neo. I mean, and I think Patrick has talked about this before, but the yellow neos for Cyclops, they look different. I don't know if it's a Jara or whatever it is, or but they tend to look different than any other Cyclops that I've seen. But
Yeah, I know Julie Gavin. She has Julie and Ty Gavin.
Yeah.
Yeah, some beautiful yellow
yeah,
Cyclops.
yeah,
Yeah, the yellow Cyclops, you down there always have a complete stripe. I never seen a broken stripe.
yeah. That's the one I got too. It's got a solid stripe on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was happy with my Cyclops Red Dominant,
Yeah.
and we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah.
But that's my plan. I do like to. I want to keep that Cyclops line going as much as I can. 5 years from now, hopefully do a designer and a Cyclops together and see what you got.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sound advice. I know Keno's trying to do the same. Me and
Yeah.
Keno, we talk about this all the time. Keno actually coined this term called locale integrity, of just trying to keep localities
Yeah,
alive.
I agree. I mean, we got to do so. I mean, if you just whoever's working with stuff, if you just stick with one locality and just, even though there's going to be a lot of designers in this world, but if everybody can do one locality,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
that's what I say. I mean, is because eventually, and I think we kind of on the precipice of this, but the numbers are dwindling with the wild card stuff. Like you still see Aruz and Biox and Throngs and Jayas coming in.
yeah,
But I
and
mean, eventually one day you're not gonna have Aruz coming in like that. So I see people like doing their pure Aru projects. I see people. Patrick has been working the Biox project. I see a few more people now doing the Cyclops project. Travis doing the Sarone thing. So to me, I think that's good, man. The I think the fear that people used to have with the like breeding locality stuff is the fact that it was basically. I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't gonna skirt around. It was about the dollars. It was the dollar amount.
oh, definitely,
You had, with the big breeders coming in, they had fear that, oh shit, these localities, that these made up localities taking money out of our pockets and stuff. And I honestly feel like there's room for everybody, man. You're gonna have people that don't like localities at all, and they want their designer stuff. They want that calico shit. They want mosaic stuff. They want the signet stuff. You got still people that want Trooper Wash Blue Line stuff. So that's cool, but it's still room for pure Sarong clutch, whether that be red or yellow. Cyclops clutch, red or yellow. Arus, whether they be yellow. I think it's enough room for everybody, and I also think it's enough room to have those localities at different price points too.
I agree, and I'm
Because
glad.
I mean, being honest, man, nobody you don't have a lot of people that's willing to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for that.
Yeah,
No,
Just being fair.
but I
Shit, a
also
lot of
think
people
that
can't
like
afford that. A lot of people they hear that, okay, don't buy this 375 animal, but buy this $2,500 animal, and shit, you got to think about it, man. Somebody new coming in the green trees, the chance of them spending $2,000 is highly unlikely.
yeah. But I think that also like when you see how it's gone over time, like yeah, like some of the prices of the chondros are going up, but there's a lot more captive bred chondros that were produced this year than last year.
there's a lot
Uh,
more, and there's a lot more designers than locality. For cap.
yeah, there's a
And
Yeah,
lot more. There's a lot of chondros that were produced this last year.
and to keep it
So
buck, there's a lot more stuff that's not even designers that people calling it designer. It's a designer outcross,
yeah,
or you have animals that are just locality crosses.
yeah, I see a lot of locality crosses called designers, and it's wrong.
Yeah, we on the same page
I
with that.
see a
You can't
lot of it.
you can't put two localities together and call it a designer parent, man. It's not a designer parent.
I mean, I guess if you bred them over time, like you bred multiple generations
Yeah,
over time to
we
get
talking
us.
about first time though. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you breed something crazy, I mean, you breed something and you get something pops out from that, and then when you can breed that to something and it's repeatable, or it does that again and some offspring and expresses that, then you may be on your way there.
But you got to add that caveat to it because there are locality designer animals. But I do think that there's a lot of like everybody's in the chondro community right now. They're all making their own rules, man, and it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but the consumer has to be more aware of what they are actually buying. Like these animals may not be designers. These animals may not necessarily be pure locality animals. But I do think that
And there's
because
nothing wrong with that at all. But the
we are
problem
seeing
is
so
where
many
people,
more new animals this year, like next year is just going to be a different looking year for the landscape of chondros. That's just how I see it.
yeah.
see, I
Well,
don't think there's nothing wrong with with these people making locality crosses. It's just, I guess my problem is when I meet a person that's a new keeper and they tell me, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's decent." And they tell me they pay $6,000 or $7,000 for the animal, and then they send me a lineage chart with only two animals in there. And I'm not saying that lineage just because you see a lineage chart, it should be worth $7,000. I'm not saying that at all. But
yeah.
I'm saying that we gotta have some type of, like I say, locale integrity. We gotta have some type of seller's integrity too, where you can't be, introducing these people into this new landscape and you hitting them over the head with these outrageous prices as soon as they're coming in.
I don't think that's. I think that that's kind of, and not that I'm calling you naive. I think it's just a naive concept, only because there seems to be an arms race currently to see who can sell the most expensive snake, and certain people are biting on it.
And
And I
I,
think that a lot of it
Yeah,
is
but
just
then you
because
have
a lot of
what you
people think
have
that they're
is
gonna they're gonna like that perfect snake that
what
they're gonna get. They're
yeah,
gonna buy it as a neo, and it's gonna become that. So they'll
everybody
spend
thinks
the
they
money.
want a blue snake or a black snake.
yeah. And just because, I mean, I don't know. I, my, when I produce snakes, I sell a few of them, but I have a good friend, Gary Shavino, which I'll sell a bunch to him, and he's always done me really well. I don't want to spend the time, shipping and all that, and what I'll do is
And rumor is it's a huge Taylor Swift fan.
he is, that's how I got him to sell my snakes. I gave him some Taylor Swift tickets.
I ain't gonna lie, I never seen a grown man that obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder a little bit. I don't know, man.
Hey man,
But
listen, there's everybody got their songs. Every dude got their songs they listen to with the radio with the windows up.
yeah,
You're not gonna listen to that song when you're driving down the
And
street
trust
with
me,
the
I ain't
windows up.
judging because I know I like people that that probably need extensions on their gas pedals.
what? What? Anyway,
I'm just saying I ain't judging nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to judge nobody. That's all I'm saying.
but I've had a good relationship with him. Like I said, I can sell him a bunch of snakes, and he's always put my snakes in good people's hands, and I just
Right.
don't have to worry about him. And I wouldn't say he's local to me, but we will meet up, a couple-hour drive, and hand deliver them. And he's always done me good. Like, and it just takes a lot of. I mean, for me to go out and sell 10 snakes and then I work at night, so I have to take a night off to ship them out. It's a lot. And if you could sell, a bunch of them to somebody, and he does a really good job at shipping them out and finding people.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever seen my prices on my snakes, but they're not $8,000 snakes. And I'm not going to say they look like $1,000 snake,
Yeah.
they're an average line snake, and I want them sold to average people, and kind of beginners too. And a lot of the people that have gotten my snakes are kind of first time beginners. But, and it's nice, you know. I still get to talk to them after they buy from Gary, and you know,
for sure.
You know, I don't mind that.
No, I applaud that because it's still room. There's still room for people who want to buy entry level chondros. You don't have to spend $7,000 to $8,000 on a snake just to you know to.
And you know,
I guess for lack of a better term, to be with the in crowd.
But I think a lot of that goes to the point is it's like there's also a part of it where people they feel peer pressured into it almost because that's kind of one of the things that they've seen is just like you gotta crawl before you walk, before you run. I mean, and like if somebody gave me my first
somebody told me one time that you know before you start walking, you should start running.
I mean, yeah, people say things, but if somebody gave me a $3,000 snake as my first chondro, that motherfucker still would have died.
Yeah. Hey, but look though, think about this, right? Look now, if that motherfucker would have died, think about this. You probably would have never gotten to chondros. And you're like, hold on, bro, I'm not gonna pay $3,000 again and do the same thing.
Bro, I wouldn't have.
But how many times have we bought a $2,500 snake and had a loss? You know,
not yet.
It's you know,
not yet.
I have.
We don't talk about, you know.
I mean, I think that also with a lot of snakes, man, that like you gotta also question about these snakes that cost more, man.
You hit that hold on, you hit that $25 right on the head, Joe. Who you been talking to on my business?
That was
exactly how much I paid for my damn snake to die.
When you look at some of these snakes, man, like there's just because a snake costs more money doesn't mean it's healthy. That's also part of it. Because you can buy an extremely expensive, unhealthy snake. And I know that people don't want to say that because they can tell you all the shit in the world, like, oh, well, this snake has this and has this in it. But it's just like, this snake doesn't act normal. Like, it looks nice and it probably is going to be, you know, a very desirable snake to have in the future.
You look back in the lineage and you see too many of the same names on both sides.
Yeah, you know, that happens, man.
You got the mosaic snake.
Yeah, it does. I know that people disagree with that too.
Shout out to the 9% of snakes out there.
We'll talk about that after Joe.
You see a lot of these beautiful lines out there, but you know, honestly, some of them don't last very long. You know,
we say the same shit all the time. People, that's the thing, man. Like I see it, and people will argue with me about it, but it's just like that shit's not fucking here anymore. Like, what about this shit not being here anymore? Why don't you conceive that this shit was not bred to last? Like, this shit is gone. I don't know why we gotta have arguments about it.
The pure lemon tree line.
Like, it looked nice when it was around, man. It's like Derrick Rose, like, it looked really nice for a real short amount of time.
He said like a dead rose.
It was not healthy. It was not healthy. It could have jumped out of the gym real quick. But and a lot of not healthy.
Trust me, I'm not a smart man, but a lot of those lines that I've seen in the past, even though, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some beautiful snakes out there, but they don't look like some of those snakes in the past. And
I say the same thing, and people look at me like I got a dick growing out of my head. Listen, people tell you
growing out your head?
Like a dick growing out of my head, bro. When you tell them this shit, because they look at you just
That's
like,
wild,
why would you say that? Like, nah, I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but I'm just saying that to be honest with you. Like, that shit from that same line don't look now how it looked 15 years ago.
No, you know, it's got a quarter of the blood in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of those snakes out there are beautiful, but you know, they don't look like that anymore.
Yeah. You buying down a watered down product. It's like the Mad Dog that they sell now. It's not like the Mad Dog we had when we was kids. Not the same product. Yes. I don't know what they was putting in that shit when we was younger. But
for the record, I wasn't a Mad Dog person. I was a 211 person.
I bet you was. But the thing with 211s is you drink one 211, you got to keep drinking 211s or you're going to get a headache. The minute you stop, you got to crash all the way out on 211s.
Get off that Steel Reserve.
I still got a poster of the Mad Dog, the red was it a bulldog?
Oh, the Red Dog. The Red Dog malt liquor, man. Yeah, man. I remember I saw the commercial for that. That was like 90s shit. Yeah. I remember that.
Hey, Joe, you was a malt liquor fan?
What's that?
You was a malt liquor fan?
No, I mean, not anymore. I'm just basically a Corona guy, Mexican beer now.
Yeah.
Travis was a 40 guy. Travis, didn't you used to drink that beer with the blue bull on it?
Nah, bro. I'll tell you what I used to do. Don't judge me. But what I used to do, especially when I was in the Army as a young PFC, what I would do is I would go to this place called Fiesta Market, which was like a ghetto supermarket, but everything in there was like it was all Mexican stuff, except for one thing. The Mickey's hand grenades. So I'll get a 12-pack of Mickey's hand grenades, and I would try to drink all the Mickey's hand grenades in 2 hours. And listen, I'm gonna come out of it alive, but I'm not gonna come out on the other side as Travis Trav. You're gonna deal with a different person at the end of that box. And I remember that.
Hey, who was your Marine? Like what asshole name did you transform into when you was off that?
I was never in the Marines.
The hand grenades. Oh, Army. What Army name? Whatever, man.
What's up, Sal? Oh, I was Mongrel.
He was Mongrel, okay.
Yeah.
Where that name came from. Shout out to Sal.
Shout out to cousin Sal. What's up, Sal,
the cryptic, man? I got the red.
We love you, brother. We gotta talk this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm probably the one guy out there that still doesn't have a logo. So
we gotta talk. We gotta talk with you.
Joe, there's some people that we can put you in contact with to make your logos.
I get a lot of them,
but you don't gotta have a logo. You don't have to have one. It's not a real thing, man.
It isn't. Yeah,
you got the YouTube plug, Joe. You good.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I feel like I have bad luck when I name snakes. First of all, every snake I've named, I have bad luck, so I stopped naming them. I just keep the numbers. And I feel like I have better luck without a logo right now. So, I mean, I would like some cool shirts with my logo on it and stuff like that, but
Joe, I feel like you're really superstitious. Are you a baseball fan?
Am I what?
Are you a baseball fan?
Oh no! Did the Dodgers win yet?
I am, and I'm superstitious.
Kino is a baseball fan.
I'm a football guy and a old motocross guy. So that's about it in snakes.
Like if I have success breeding like a pair of chondros, I won't change my jaws for a whole year.
That's probably true.
So my thing is, and I was talking
little flies be doing the Dougie around his nutsack.
Is every year I will put my incubator away. I don't leave my incubator out running. Once I'm done with it, I put it away in the closet because I feel like that's going to be better luck. Because if I sit there and let it set up, I'm probably not going to need it. But if I stick it in the closet, put some stuff on it, shut it down, hopefully I'll need it. And that's just the way I run.
You and Kino, like I remember back in the day, y'all remember that show they had on MTV called True Life, where they would find people with like that did certain shit and they would just like do a little mini documentary. Like you and Kino both remind me of that episode of True Life where they talked to the people with OCD and the dude kept blowing on his hands before he touched the doorknob. Like that's what y'all remind me.
First off, what's wrong with being punctual, brother?
Yeah.
That's what y'all sound like. Maybe a Cyclops breeder. Maybe
Like,
that's Cyclops
for real.
maybe y'all got OCD.
I'm gonna start doing that before I touch my Cyclops now.
Don't do that.
I am, brother.
Don't do that. I'm gonna find that clip and I'm gonna send it to both of y'all tomorrow.
I'm gonna start doing that before I breathe every time now. Before I even clean the tub.
Yeah.
If y'all start doing that, I'm gonna be upset. Joe, you got anything that you want to tell us that we didn't talk about earlier?
I don't think so. I mean, if anybody wants to reach out and talk about snakes, I'm always for it. You know, I do have a few available if anybody wants to get in contact. I got a couple Cyclops available and a couple designers that I'm looking to let go this year. And I only got a few though, but that's about it.
What's your name on Instagram?
It's White Horse GTP 360.
That sounds like an '80s band.
No, it sound what it sound like is like it sound like a Latin King member.
It actually kind of
where I live, it's called White Horse Beach. So I just took that name, put the GTP in there, and then the 360 comes from my father's address. So
I thought you was a Latin King.
What's that?
He said he thought you was a Latin King. Listen, Joe. For a second, I thought you were gonna tell me you was from New Jersey and you lived off the White Horse Pike. Shout out to everybody in Jersey too. Shout out to Chuck and Gary and who else we know from out there in New Jersey, and James Smith. Shout out to Smitty.
Yep.
Yeah, James Smith out there too.
Yeah. What's his OC? I think he was on you guys' show.
He was on the show.
We just call him James Smith.
What is his thing? Here's his is it AC Arboreals? No, Bayshore.
Bayshore.
Yeah, Bayshore. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to James Smith. Shout out to all the East Coast folks, man. We love y'all.
I will talk about one thing though, Kino. So when I started listening to you guys' podcasts, I don't know, I was probably only you guys probably only had like 7 episodes in. And I started listening to you guys, and then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, you know how you go through you're going through Facebook and shit, and I got fucking midget stripper wrestling in the next town over.
Yes. And like, man. See, that's what I'm trying to tell him, Joe. He infects your life with this midget
town?
shit.
What town, Joe?
You know, and I got midget stripper wrestling in Rockland, the next town over. I was going to invite you over here and tell you to come fly up, man.
Sal, tell him how he infected your. Listen, if you were in the comments right now,
Joe, that's how I know you don't really fuck
life
with Joe,
with midgets. Say something. Put a 1 in the chat room.
Hey, drop a fairy. Drop a fairy.
If Kino has infected your life and your algorithm with
if
fucking
I've infected
midgets.
you the right way with midgets and your algorithm, drop a fairy for me. But see,
Kino,
Joe, that's how I know you really don't rock with me because Joe, if you rock with me, you would.
I think you should take a trip to
definitely send me.
Because they
said my For You page is destroyed. Listen, Kino only likes. I don't know what it is. Do you like them because they got fat hands with stubby fingers or knees that look like grapefruits? What is it that turns you on about midgets, Kino?
First off, that was a below the belt for the grapefruit knee thing. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. You know? But they're human beings. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than people like 400-pound women. Me, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back. I don't. It's not. I don't like y'all. You know. I just like
it'd be a wonderful idea.
I like
we had
like
a little bachelor show, and like it was just midgets trying to get with Kino.
Yeah.
And like
I kind of want to be on that show and have like 10 midgets with the red balloon.
We could get Tuck to be there as his little butler and like deliver condoms and like chocolates and shit.
Just put me on that show with the red when the ladies pop the red balloon and give me like 15 midgets.
Who is Timothy Fryston? He said some of them little ladies have fat booties. What is this? Stop
What'd he say?
encouraging
Showing
this
little
shit.
lady's house.
Stop.
Timothy,
Stop.
my
Timothy,
dog. My
Timothy,
dog,
stop
Timothy.
encouraging.
Tim, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. Hey, Timothy, hit me up on IG. My
Yeah.
IG is the same thing as my
It's
my Instagram handle.
it's that short little ass. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Brother, look. So don't start, because I'll send you something. You think it's short, but, you know, it's heavy.
Listen,
It's definitely heavy.
Listen, Keto tried to do the limbo underneath them little cheeks.
Yeah.
Look, brother. All I'm saying is this, brother. You know, bucket list.
No,
Bucket
just,
list.
We need a little person, female guest. I agree. I'm trying to look. So I speak for all the little people in the Chondro community. Like if you under
you're not even a little person. How do you do you speak for them?
bro, I speak for them. I give them a voice, bro.
Are you like the MLK of midgets in the Chondro community?
Hey, look, I have a dream, bro.
Shut
And
your
one
ass.
day, this dream is that we
Shut
will
the fuck up. I don't want to hear no more of this shit.
we
This
will
is
be able to sit
disrespectful.
around at the table with regular sized people and little sized people. You know what I'm saying? And they will not be able to be judged by the color of their size. I mean, by
The
the height
color of
of their
their
size.
size. Shut up.
You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be judged by the size of their body, but by the content of their character.
Travis, if you could find
I have a dream.
that's got a snake collection, you're golden, man.
I'm not doing it. I'm not
Hey,
encouraging
if
this
Trav
shit.
do that, we got a new guest. That's gonna be our new guest, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not encouraging this shit, man.
We got a
Hell
new
no.
guest.
I wasn't encouraging it either. I was just looking on my Facebook and I'm like, what is going on here?
It's because you spoke to him. Listen, he be infecting your shit, man.
People always say that, but I'm gonna tell you this is the truth. The truth is,
you a pervert.
I speak for that's facts. I do love women. I know that's weird these days. In 2024, we live in a society where, you know,
man, listen, that's not a good excuse, man.
Men liking women is weird, but I'm very much old school in the fact that I love women. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just feel like that. You know, the little people, they taking advantage. They get taken advantage for. We don't get them enough respect. So, put some respect on little people's name.
You said that they get taken advantage of, and you
Yeah.
here to be their protector.
Yeah.
I speak for the little people, bro. I'm the
I don't
voice.
think that you could be protecting all the
voice.
midgets if you standing there in your drawers, bro.
Who are you to judge, bro?
A person that can see some weird shit going down.
Bro, maybe they may like ethicals. They may like PSD draws, but you don't know that.
Listen, PSD draws suck anyway.
Oh, bro. See, that's you wrong again, bro. You know?
No, I'm not. I forget. The thief draws suck because they don't got dig holes in them. Them draws suck.
They do. But hey, look. Sometimes you gotta pull Willie out, bro.
The older you get, the fucking everything sucks.
Yeah, you need a dig hole. You need accessibility. Yeah. That's why, like, I can't wait till I get old and it's acceptable for me to wear those khaki pants from Walmart. You
walk around with no pants?
The khaki pants from Walmart with the elastic bands on them that they give to people in the nursing homes.
With the Velcro shoes?
Yeah.
Okay. You close to my brother already.
I'm trying to slide out of everything, but not into a midget.
How'd you Velcro monarchs?
Yeah.
But no. Shout out to the little people out there. Shout out to the little people at the Chondro Bar Room. Y'all number one in my eyes.
There's no little people that watch this show.
You never know.
If there is out there, if there's any little people in the Chondro Bar Room, get in with me. You know, send me a message on Instagram. We probably put you up to be a new host.
Okay, that's cool. If you get this midget to be your host, I'm out because y'all just gonna be doing duets all fucking night. Ebony and Ivory, fucking Fire and Desire.
Travis, you gotta do a show. You gotta hire them or what? But you gotta get a couple of them in there. And
here's the problem.
We're gonna get me a midget. We're gonna get Travis a bingo player.
Shut up. Here's the problem with that. It's like we could go out and we could find midgets and hire them, but Keno's never gonna let them leave. Like that's the
They're not gonna
problem.
want to leave, bro. They're gonna love it here.
Are they?
They
Yeah,
get
bro.
in his basement.
Or make them.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Nah. First off, I like women. I mean, I like midget, little people, midget women. I'm not gonna string them up my. I'm not like the Black Snake Moan, brother. I'm not gonna tie them up in my basement or my backyard. No.
Listen, I'm trying to live my life like Samuel Jackson and Black Snake Moan, just not having somebody tied up in a room. But like
See, I'm good, brother.
Long Johns and a shotgun in the middle of nowhere, man, that shit sounds lovely.
That sound like Memphis.
It do sound like this.
Long
I,
Johns
I
and shotguns. Long Johns and shotguns.
I love to jump off my porch as a Long Johns and start cursing motherfuckers out.
That's the remix. Instead of Hellcats and truck houses, Long Johns and shotguns.
All right, Joe, you got anything else after Keno has completely derailed your episode? First of all, Joe, you gotta come back, bro.
For the end of the show, though.
Oh, so hold on. I didn't even bring up midgets. Joe brought them up. You know what I'm saying?
which is extremely problematic because this is
The truth is, I'm gonna tell you what the truth is. The truth is, when I started talking about little people, I spoke to a lot of people's hearts, and they
a
didn't
lot
want
of
to
people
come out
are
and admit
creeps.
that. So I made
Yeah.
this a safe space to love little people.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
This is a safe space for people who love people and little people. Shout out to y'all.
I wish that there was like a little person protector, like Chris Hansen, and he just showed up when you went to the little person's house and eating brownies and shit. Yeah, that's
But
what I wish.
but he protect kids, bro. Like little people, these little people, they old enough to get that work.
I don't think that we need to just have the vision of you just froggy styling some midget.
Bro, what's up? Bro, you very judgmental of little people. Hey, any little people out there, I love you. If nobody else love you, Keno love you.
Somebody loves you, baby. All right,
Exactly.
Joe.
I put
So
that
you
on
gotta
the
come
set.
back. We gotta figure it out.
Thank you guys for having me on. It was very appreciative.
Yeah, we appreciate you for coming, Joe.
Have a
But
seat
you
right
definitely got to come back, Joe. This is fun. I like how you
there. Hey,
encourage
nah, Chris,
Keto's lunacy.
I got a seat for the little people to sit. Chris, no, don't worry
Yeah,
about it. I got that.
listen, no. Thank you for coming through, Joe, and
No, Joe, we appreciate you, Joe. It's good to
having
see
this
somebody
Cyclops
else.
talk.
Yeah, it's good to see somebody else dedicated to the Cyclops locality. Man, I kind of, if I had some more money, I probably would have grabbed one from him.
You still got a few left?
Yeah, I think I got a few left. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a few left.
I was gonna talk to you someday if I ever get some trade with you. You know, just
Okay,
bloodline.
we can talk about that. But how you feel about little people though?
I like them. You know.
Okay,
Hey, what is
They're all
this?
over my Facebook.
if you said you didn't like them, then we probably couldn't do no trades, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What is this? You're not supposed to be encouraging him, Joe.
You know
Now I
what I'm saying?
got two of y'all.
Keno, we
It's
can
three
trade
of
out
us.
the Cyclops.
Actually, it's actually way more. It's just I'm gonna keep their secrets in my DM. I'm not gonna expose nobody. I don't do that. But I know for a fact that when I be sending you these little people, I could go a whole week without sending no videos to nobody. And what I do is I'll get like 5 or 6 people sending the same video, like, hey, yeah, check
I
this out.
know at
I'll be like,
least I know at least
I know,
two other people that participate in this bullshit with you.
I know, I know.
Yeah, I know two of them. I know
Them
two
midget ass
more.
be sitting fat, and I ain't the only one that knows.
Okay, that's not necessary.
Jiggle, jiggle. Hit the midget jiggle, baby.
All right, Joe. It's
Shout out
been
to
a
y'all.
pleasure. Shout out to Joe for coming through. Shout out to Keno and his
Shout out to Joe.
bullshit. Shout
Shout
out
out
to the
to
Cyclops Keepers. Also, shout out to Ruben. He had Cyclops clutch this year too. So shout
shout out
out
to
to Ruben
Chris.
from
Shout out to
Centenario.
Chris
Shout out to
in the box
Chris.
3D.
Yeah, there was a good 5
Shout out.
people that had Cyclops this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Coke Blooded Cafe too.
I changed it. It's not coke blooded no more. It's back to cold blooded.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Shout
sorry.
out to Coke Blooded Cafe.
Yeah, shout out to Des Jeezy.
Use that Chondro Bar Room. Save y'all some money on some rats, and you can save you some money on some purchase. Hit up Boss Man Marlon D-Lo if you're trying to get in with him with some logos and stuff. What does he do? Okay, he do banners. Okay, let me see. Oh, this is a new banner right here. Okay,
That's
he
an old
produces
banner.
custom shirts, tumblers, tapestries, decals, and more.
That's
right,
one of the first banners. That's an old banner. But
I
anyway,
ain't seen him in a long time, brother. But shout out to the Jamaicans, brother.
he's Haitian. He's not
Shout out-
Jamaican. He's Haitian.
Shout out to the Haitians. My
You
bad.
can't get island black people confused, bro. They gonna come get you, bro.
My fault, y'all. Shout out to the Haitians. Shout out to Little Nigga Migos. This one of the first episodes. I ain't see Little Nigga Migos pop up.
Shut the fuck up. Listen, that's been us for the CBR man. Y'all have a good night. Shout out to Joe. It's been real, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
Peace.
Get out there and vote.
What's up?
Get out there and vote.
Don't vote for midgets.